the 16th commencement exercise for Youngstown Rayen Early College High School. At this time, our graduates are proceeding down the aisle. As our last beautiful graduate files in, can this audience give the class of 2023 a round of applause? They have made it. Congratulations. Everyone may be seated. Good morning, beautiful and exceptional people, and welcome to our 16th annual commencement. I am honored to celebrate the class of 2023. At this time, class of 2023, we didn't practice this, but roll with me, okay? So class of 23, I want you to stand. I want you to face the audience. And I want you to give them a hand because they've been your village. They've been behind you when no one else was. All right, thank you. Class of 2023, please turn around and sit down. Thank you very much. At this time, I absolutely want to acknowledge the people that have been a service in the military. If you are active duty, reserve, can you please stand so we can honor you for your service? At this time, I would like to introduce our platform guests to you. Guests, as I call your name, can you please stand? Mr. Justin Jennings, Superintendent of Youngstown City Schools. Mrs. Tiffany Patterson, Board President. Mrs. Juanita Walker, Vice President of the Board of Education. Mr. Joe Moranto, Board of Education. Mrs. Tina Savekovich, Board of Education. Mrs. Brenda Kimball, Board of Education. Dr. Okello Wilson, Assistant Professor of Higher Education at Penn State University. And Dr. Jeffrey Buchanan, YSU Chair of the English and Foreign Language Department. I next want to recognize the staff of YREC. When I call your name, please stand. Mrs. Ramos. Mr. Grahovic. Mrs. Emile. Mrs. Candela. Mrs. Banzel. Mrs. Meeker. Mrs. Thornton. And Mrs. Van Cobb. For the first time in YREC history, we have invited our 10th graders to commencement. Let me tell you why. We wanted to give them a prophetic picture of where they will be in about a year and a half. So YREC and the staff of YREC, please stand. Have a seat. Thank you. At this time, I would like to lavish gratitude upon the exceptional parents who trusted us to send your exceptional children to our exceptional school. I want to brag on the class of 2023. 100% of the senior class earned college credit with a combined total of 2,915 college credits. 41 out of 73 scholars are on track to receive their AA degree on Saturday, May the 6th. 13 of the 41 will receive their honors with their AA degree because they maintain a 3.4 and a 3.6 GPA for 2 years. 14 out of the 33 scholars who will receive high honors with their AA maintained a GPA of 3.70 to a 4.0 for 2 years. 28 graduates who are receiving their AA degree have started their coursework already for their bachelor's degree. And last but not least, the class of 2023 has an estimated 4-year grant and scholarship package that equals $2,469,500. I would like to share 2 quick things to you, class of 2023. Number 1, you were not created to be contained or to be boxed in. You are born to stand out and shine in your authenticity of who you are created to be. This can be a time to arise and flourish in your identity in greater ways than ever before. To flourish in your unique expression. As you cross over, I speak words of light, life, and joy over you. You are able to get anything done with focus, drive, and staying true to yourself and your values. The most powerful tools you currently possess are choices and time. How you utilize both will determine the impact and the quality of your life. Congratulations, class of 2023. We will now have remarks from Mr. Justin Jennings, followed by Mrs. Juanita Walker. And for the first time in YREC history, we have 3 valedictorians this year. So after Mrs. Walker, we will have our 3 valedictorians and our salutatorian, and then words from our guest speaker, Dr. Okello Wilson, in that order.
I promise you I'm going to be really, really brief. First of all, congratulations, class of 2023. I am so proud of you. You've been through so much. You've been through COVID. You've been through just terrible conditions in the building, but you persevered. So give yourself a hand. And although she gave credit to everybody else, we have to give some credit to her. Can you please give Miss Jones a hand? Big round of applause. Over the last couple of years and over the last 6 months, she's become a really good friend and also a prayer partner. And I appreciate her for that, and I wanted to acknowledge that in front of everybody. I'm gonna be real brief. Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see." Class of 2023, you're living in a time in which you have to be that change. You're watching violence in our country with our children. You're watching the racism, you're watching the politics. The only way you change that is you have to be that change. It's going to be up to your generation. I hate to say this to my fellow generationers on the stage, but we failed you. We have. So now it's your turn to be that change. So make sure as you walk away, always know that we love you here at Youngstown City Schools, but we want you to become so much better than you ever could imagine and ever dream. So never stop striving, but also strive every day to be that change. Thank you. God bless.
Good morning, everyone. It just gives me great pleasure to welcome you here to celebrate the achievements of our graduating scholars. We are so proud of all of you, and our heartfelt congratulations to all of you for your accomplishments. And I want to leave you with this one thing: work in your purpose and not a sense of purpose. And that means operate in your gift and not self-satisfaction, as it can be fleeting. Thank you.
At this time, can Samir Cologne come to the stage?
Hello, class of 2023. I would like to first off thank God for allowing me to have an opportunity such as this to talk in front of you. I would like to then thank the staff, teachers, and both my academic and athletic coaches who watched me grow and got me through. And most importantly, to the class of 2023, we made it. It wasn't easy, but we're here, and I hope we all find something in life that makes us happy. I would like to thank my family also for being my biggest supporters. Class of 2023, it's been a blast, but we are on to bigger and better things. Congrats to us and best wishes.
At this time, our second valedictorian, Elizabeth Crockett.
I like how everybody quieted down because they know I don't talk that loud. First, I simply wanted to thank everybody here, from those who have supported us, even if you couldn't make it today, and us ourselves, the class of 2023. You all have done an absolutely fantastic job. Now, I don't want to bore you all too long. There's still 2 of us left. However, about half the people I know have been persuading me to give a speech. And as my best friend pointed out to me about 3 weeks ago, speeches are supposed to be inspirational. So let me start by saying, we did it. To me, successes can be as inspirational as failure. We survived our freshman year, poor time management, the beginning and hopefully the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic, experimental online schooling, and some of our staff's poor technology skills. Love you guys. I know a lot of us are gone now. There's only about 70 of us, and some of us just appeared during COVID. But still, look around, you guys. You're here now. You did it. We went from kids who would silently agree when one of us would say we're tired, burnt out, and or depressed in freshman year, to YREC graduates. Now, I know we still have a long way to go, from more college, to getting a job, to saving up money from a job we already have. But whatever you do, don't give up. Keep going on the path you chose. And if you find out you don't like that path anymore, well then tell it to respectfully get lost and find some new directions. As a favorite author of mine, Ichiro Oda, has written, we shouldn't worry about being able to achieve our dreams as long as we have the desire to do it. Even if your dreams seem barely achievable, keep going. Even if you become the tired, depressed, burnout kid you were in freshman year, don't give up and keep living a life that truly makes you happy and that you truly enjoy. Thank you, and I hope to see you all living out your dreams one day.
At this time, our third valedictorian, Gianna Townsend.
Sorry, y'all. I'm not feeling the best today. Well, my fellow classmates, class of 2023, we made it. After 13 long years of schooling and waiting and praying for it to be over, we finally made it. I'd like to say thanks to my family and friends. They kept me grounded and supported me the entire time. I'd like to specifically thank my dad for pushing me to be the best and striving for the best, and my mom for encouraging me to pursue whatever makes me happy. I'd also like to thank the teachers and staff for helping us all these years. And last but certainly not least, I don't know if she's here, but I'd like to thank Miss Tiffany Payavalas and the Young Scholars Program. And my Young Scholars peeps, y'all know who y'all are. Since without that scholarship, I wouldn't be attending The Ohio State University and pursuing the path that I chose. I remember throughout my childhood, I would be very focused on my grades. Not to say that that's a bad thing, I mean, a valedictorian. But I used to be so focused on my grades that I wouldn't do anything else. Like I wouldn't hang out with my friends often, go to many school events or dances, or stay in any extracurriculars because of school. I now realize that it was less concern for my grades and more concern for what could have gone wrong. What if this happened? But what about this? Those thoughts were so wrapped up in my head that I stayed to myself and skipped all the fun stuff. Until very recently when I decided to step out of my comfort zone and had the most fun I've had in my entire life. So with that being said, if you were to take anything away from this, it's to just do it. Live your life. Don't be so caught up in the things that could go wrong that you miss out on the things that could have possibly changed your life. Plus, even if things did go wrong, it'll be okay. If our high school experience and that COVID-19 pandemic taught us anything, is that we can and we will bounce back from whatever life throws at us. So try that new thing. Make the first move. Seize that opportunity before you lose it. You'll never know what'll happen unless you try it. And lastly, be the best you can be, especially knowing that this will always and forever will be the best graduating class of all time. We only have one life. Let's live it to the fullest. Thank you.
At this time, last but not least, can Sean Wessinger come to the stage? He is our salutatorian.
So how are we doing today? A little anxious, but that's about it. To start us off, I'd like to thank my mom and my dad especially. Honestly, I know this without you. I'd like to thank all the coaches from RRC stood by the students, especially Mr. Lane. And I'd also like to thank Ms. Tiffany from YSB. I couldn't mean to say without her. Obviously, the last 3 years with COVID and everything hasn't been the best for any of us, for being realistic here. But we made it still here today. Through all the trauma, through everything we've been through, the pain, the suffering, the losses, we still made it across the stage today, and ultimately, we made it at the end of the day. That's about it.
Dr. Wilson Okello is a creative artist and scholar who draws on Black critical theories to advance research on student early adult development theory. Most immediately, he is concerned with how Black critical approaches make visible the epistemic foundations that structures what it means to be human and imagining otherwise possibilities for Black beings therein. He is also concerned with how the theories of Blackness might recognize understandings of racialized stress and trauma, qualitative inquiry, critical masculinities, and curriculum and pedagogy to create conditions of possibility in the education context and society. He is widely published. He has over 40 scholarly publications in venues such as the Journal of College Student Development, Race, Ethnicity, and Education, the Journal of Diversity in Higher Education. Dr. Okello is the co-editor of Trauma-Informed Practice in Student Affairs, Multidimensional Considerations for Care, Healing, and Well-Being, a New Direction for Student Services volume, and solo author of forthcoming text with the SUNY Press that explores the potential of centering Blackness in student development theory. Dr. Okello is a sought-after speaker and consultant. He has delivered over 150 invited keynote talks performances across the United States and internationally. Among other early works awards, he received the 2022-2023 Council on the Ethnic Participation Mildred Garcia Award for Exemplary Scholarship by the Association of the Study of Higher Education, and he was named the 2022 Emerging Scholar by the American College Personnel Association. He is the recipient of the University of Rhode Island Distinguished Alumni Rising Star Award. I'm telling you this morning, he is a very distinguished individual. I want to say that he is the brother of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Currently, Dr. Okello is the Assistant Professor of Higher Education at Penn State University, where he is a research associate at the Center for the Study of Higher Education. He lives in State College, PA, with his wife Morgan and son Auguste Assay. Please welcome Dr. Okello.
Lift up your eyes upon the day breaking before you, give birth again to the dream. Women, children, men, take it into the palms of your hands, mold it into the shape of your most private dream, sculpt it into the image of your most public self. Lift up your hearts. Each new hour holds new chances for new beginnings. Do not be wedded forever to fear or yoked eternally to brutishness. The horizon leans forward, offering us space to place new steps of change here on the pulse of this new day. May you have the courage to look up and out and upon the rock, the river, the tree, your country here on the pulse of this fine day. May you have the grace to look into your sister's eyes, to look upon your brother's face and say simply, very simply with hope, good morning. To you all, let's say good morning. From the call and response tradition, I like when people talk back to me. It's good to be before you on this morning. Thank you so much, Principal Jones, for that warm invitation. I want to thank Ms. Natasha Robinson, Principal Jones, the entire leadership team at the Youngstown Early College. I am who I am because somebody loved me. I've been given strict time limits, and so I will not belabor. If I could borrow your attention for just a short moment on this morning, I would begin by taking you to East Africa in 1983, and there we would find a woman named Leslie Scott. That year, Leslie Scott would launch a game at the London Toy Fair that would go on to be one of the best-selling games games and the toy industry's history. In 2017, it was reported that this game has sold more than 80 million units worldwide and sustains popularity amongst children and adults. Even if you don't actively play this game, I'm almost certain that you have heard of it. Scott thought about this game by playing with children's blocks in the 1970s. The game thus derives from the Swahili term, which means to build. 54 wooden blocks are gathered. Each block is 3 times as long as it is wide and 1/5 as thick as it is long. The game has, each block has various imperfections in it, which makes the stacking process a little bit more difficult. The game, of course, is called, come on, y'all, I see somebody's played the game before, Jenga. That's right, from the Swahili word Kujenga. As many of you know, the game begins with 3 blocks at a time to build a tower. The game continues as individuals pull blocks and then place them on top. The game continues until the tower falls or any portion thereof. It's been reported that the tallest Jenga tower has stood at 40 2/3 levels high. For my mathematicians in the room, that's more than 2 times its original height. Now, I'm from an East African home. Yeah, my father is from that region, and so we played this game all the time as a family. My brother, my sister, my mother and father, we would gather around the coffee table, and we would take great care constructing this game 3 blocks at a time. It was powerful, y'all. It's as if we were engineers. We would stack and press each block together, ensuring that there were no imperfections in the design. Principal Jones, we take a step back and admire our creation and wonder if we'd ever seen something so magnificent. And then the game started. Recall I told you that the purpose of the game is to build the tallest tower possible by stacking blocks on top of one another. My brother, my sister, my mother, and I, we resonated with these rules as explained by the designer, and we approached the game as such. We took care to ensure that the blocks that we pulled wouldn't compromise the entire structure. But my father, y'all, my father had a different interpretation of the rules. Yeah, see, my father would look for what those in masonry might call the cornerstone. The cornerstone is critical because it can tell you about the relationship around the other stones. As my father understood it, the cornerstone was significant because it could tell you about the integrity of a structure. I'm going somewhere this morning, Principal Jennings. As my father understood it, the cornerstone was valuable. He would pull at this cornerstone, and oftentimes he was successful at both pulling the cornerstone and placing it on top, but the rest of us, we weren't so fortunate. See, once he pulled at this cornerstone, the tower had a noticeable lean and sway to it, which meant that the next person to engage with the tower was almost certainly responsible for collapsing it. In this way, my father was oftentimes declared the winner. My brother, my sister, we would simply look at each other and shake our heads as my mother would turn to my father and say, "Seraphim, why do you continue to do that?" My father would simply laugh, and he would watch us rebuild. I still feel some kind of way when I see a Jenga tower and my father in the same room, y'all. But I'm much clearer about what I believe was happening. See, my father understood something that we didn't. He understood that if your structure was fundamentally flawed, then no matter how smooth your surface, no matter how clean your edges, if and when it is provoked, it is going to collapse. See, my father remembered that all of the blocks had small random variations in them, which meant that the tower that we took so much pride in constructing was never meant to withstand adversity. It was never meant to last for the long haul. I didn't have the language for it in that moment, but my father was teaching me something about the things that we give priority to in our lives. He was teaching me something about the value of an internal work. You all look good in your pristine, in your robes and regalia. I know you got awards on top of awards, but I came to ask you about the integrity of your foundation when life begins to pull at your cornerstone. When life begins to pull at your cornerstone, no amount of awards or praise or accolades is going to be sufficient to keep you from standing. No amount of awards or accolades is going to be sufficient to keep you from collapsing. I know you know how to work hard, how to to do whatever it takes, how to grind and do your thing. I'm here to celebrate you on today, but I think we need to ask ourselves a more intimate type of question, like, do you like who you look at when you see yourself in the mirror? Like, do you love yourself? I'm not talking about that rosy, romantic type of love. That has its place. But I'm here to ask you if you can honor, respect, care for, and celebrate yourself type of love. My brother, where do you need to heal? My sister, what is the condition of your spirit? I think that some of us have gotten so used to being unwed that we have forgotten how to walk upright. That we've forgotten how to breathe easy. That we have forgotten how to think better than our current situation. We are walking around with trauma and past decisions and regrets, and we have convinced ourselves that it is safer to live in that place, that it's easier to live in that place than to do the harder work of healing our minds and our spirits. My hope for you, my hope for your village, my hope for us is that we might live fully and into your possibility. And if we are going to do that, I think we need to commit ourselves to a series of actions and decisions. I believe we need to commit ourselves to at least 3 actions and decisions. And I'm getting out of the way, I promise y'all. Number 1, I think we need to be clear about our affirmations. What are you affirming? Number 2, I think we need to breathe through the lesson. Number 2, breathe through the lesson. Number 3, I think we need to be clear about our refusals. Number 1, what are you affirming? Number 2, we need to breathe through the lesson. And number 3, we need to be clear about our refusals. Number 1, affirmations are a way for us to reset, to reflect, and to rearrange. So take my word for it, but affirmation, speaking life with intention, opens the door to possibility. Again, don't take my word for it. My mother was a creator of worlds in and through her prayers. When I was a boy, in my youth, I would creep downstairs on the weekends. I would sneak downstairs, and I was trying to get to the TV, y'all, first. I was trying to get to the cartoons first. As I would come around the corner, I would see my mother folded over the couch in prayer. I would go on to ask my mother several years later, "Mom, what were you thinking about? What were you praying about?" She said, Wilson, I used to pray about what you all were going to be. I used to pray that you were going to leave your mark on the world. This sense of devotion, I don't recall a time in my life where I made it downstairs before. My mother on the weekend, she was always there, and so something about her devotion has stuck with me, and so every day, at about 5:30, I wake up, and I begin to get my mind and my spirit ready for the day. At about 6:15, 6:30, I begin to get my son, who's now 2, ready for the day. And ever since he's been about 6 months, we've had this routine. As we begin our routine in the morning, I give August a book. I give him some blocks, perhaps his ABCs of affirmation cards. And as he's flipping through these, I begin to sponge his hair. I say, "August, I love your beautiful curls and locks." As I begin to put lotion on his skin, I say, "August, I love your chocolate skin." Yeah, just like that. I love your chocolate skin. I ask my son 2 questions every morning. I say, number 1, August, what did you dream about? He's 2. And so right now it might be He's dreaming about applesauce. Or dreaming about trampoline parks. Whatever it is, he says, I say, August, those are beautiful dreams. Thank you for sharing your dreams with me. Number two, I say, August, what is it that you desire for the day? He's two. And so again, we might get something like blocks, or how about breakfast, Dad? Whatever it is, I say, August, those are beautiful dreams and desires. Thank you for sharing those dreams and desires with me. As we finish up our routine, we give gratitude for the day, we set our intentions, and something really interesting has begun to happen over the past few months. August sensed something in my tone begin to shift. He senses this move to reverence that I begin to do, and so he reaches for my hands. He begins to smile, and before I can get another word in otherwise, he says, Ashe and amen. What's your point, Dr. Wilson? I'm not overly concerned with what August can tell me about his dreams and desires in this moment. My concern is 9 years from now, when some classmate dismisses the sanctity of his locks. My concern is 16 years from now, when legislation has made it all but impossible for him to see himself in the curriculum. My concern is 36 years from now, when some institution questions the integrity of his thoughts. I hope that something will begin to stir up in his spirit that refuses those claims. My hope is that he will begin to look at that situation. He will look at himself in the mirror, and without knowing why, he will begin to smile. And just like he did all those years ago when Daddy was sponging his hair, he will begin to utter Ashe and Amen. I am beautiful. My dreams are valid. My desires have a place in this world. My mind is a place of joy, and my spirit as well. See, I was just trying to get to the TV when I was a boy, but my mother was advocating for generations. She didn't know that the prayers and the affirmations that she was speaking was going to land with her grandson. She didn't know that her children were going to go on to be lawyers, directors, and professors that would literally be speaking the same affirmations to a group of 2023 graduates one day. She didn't know that those affirmations are going to live on in generations. I'm here to tell you, class of 2023, that the affirmations that you speak on today will last for generations. Number one, we need to be clear about our affirmations. I'm moving, y'all. I know we got time, we got things to do. Number two, we need to breathe through the lesson. The mother widow seal will push her baby into the water against the baby's will. The mother seal will hold the baby's head underwater while the baby coughs, sputters, and squirms. The baby is new here. The baby doesn't know that they can breathe underwater until they do. And then everything changes. By the time this weaning period is over, the seal will be able to dive 2,500 feet below the surface. The seal will be able to stay there for an hour if they desire. They'll be able to move between frozen and liquid worlds, but they don't know that yet. They haven't figured out their flippers and their lungs. On the way to constructing a core self that is going to sustain you when the winds and waves in life come, there is going to be some coughing and sputtering. I have struggled to stay who I thought I was. I've tried to cling to who I thought I wanted to be. I've been ignorant to the possibilities that are written into me. I have felt out of my depth all of the time. What I appreciate about the mother seal is that she's teaching us the difference between what is cute and what is necessary, what is and what could be. I am so grateful for the people like the teachers and the principals here who have plunged me into knowing my capacity, who have plunged me into knowing my lungs, trusting my lungs in ways that I never thought possible so that I could breathe in ways that I didn't know I could breathe. My hope for you is that you might be able to breathe in ways that you have never breathed before so that into depths that you did not know were possible, but there's going to be a process of learning to trust your lungs. Class of 2023, I want you to take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Breathing is a practice of presence. Breathing helps us to take in the information. It's about calming the body so that we don't miss the information that a situation has to provide us. What are your affirmations? And number 2, we need to breathe through the lesson. I'm closing with this. Number 3, we need to be clear about our refusals. We need to be clear about our refusals. I worry about the things that we hold on to. I worry about the decisions, perhaps, that we made. I worry about the decisions that were made for us. I worry about the pressure some of us feel to be extraordinary. Refusal is about rejecting the thoughts and ideas that contend for your peace and for your joy. My hope for you today is that you might take up a posture of refusal collectively today that says the things that held me down, the things that held me back, the things that plagued my insecurities will no longer have power over me on today. I want to be clear that this isn't a one-time thing, y'all. I too, again, there are days when I feel like I'm not enough. There are days when I have doubts and fears and insecurities. But in those moments, I want you all to remember that every day, something has tried to kill you. And every day, that something has failed. I stopped believing in heroes and heroines. Not because I grew out of them, but because I realized that they were flawed, arrogant, misleading, deceptively reliable. They were human, and underneath their masks and capes and all the things, I believed that they were insulated from an armor built to withstand and to keep the messy from getting out. I stopped believing in heroes and heroines when I realized that I should be celebrated, be penned into legend. Life's camera action and imitation for each day. This world has tried to kill some piece of me and fail. Yeah, with no roaring applause, no standing ovations, no medal stands. I'm offered a certificate, my ticket to try this feat again tomorrow. So I wrote reminders to myself to be kind to the person I was becoming by learning, to stretch my wings, Lord, healing on both arms so that I can wrap myself in love or peace of mind. On every mirror I pass by, at least I forget what it looks like. Don't you ever forget that you are beautifully inspired. Our own best and only option for survival. No one else is coming. Each day, this world has tried to kill some piece of me and fail. So I played songs on the contours of my memory to sing myself joyful in octaves outside my range. I held my own hand when there was no one there to usher me out of aisles of despair to tell me I could make it. To show me how to break and remake, to break and remake, to break and live broken. Radical reinvention is an act of preservation that builds purpose back into living. We have come too far to go back now. The he, she, here, they, it, us has come too far to go back now. We stitched ourselves back home, back together, placed holistically in effect in jostling winds and tug of wars between poles of self-esteem. We reach for the high bar and pull ourselves up. We are strong when we have to be each day. This world has tried to kill some piece of me and fail. Each day, shame has tried to kill some piece of me and fail. Each day, insecurities have tried to kill some piece of me and fail. Each day, doubt has tried to kill some piece of me and fail. If I am free, it's only because I'm not depending on someone else to save me. Class of 2023, I need you to stand up really quickly. I need you to repeat after me. Repeat after me. The whole universe encourages my very being. I refuse comparison, anxiety, fear. I deserve peace, rest, joy. I claim it for me, for us, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Give your hand.
Class of 2023, I hope that your eyes and the eyes of your heart are open to hear that powerful word. Thank you again, Dr. Okello. Can we give him another hand, please? Well, we are at that time. But I would ask of you this thing, that during the reading of the graduate names, that we will be considerate of our celebratory spirit so that everyone can hear their baby's name being called, right? Because you have sacrificed to see these beautiful scholars walk across the stage. So please be mindful of that. And as we go on, Mr. Jennings, Superintendent of Youngstown City Schools, Mrs. Tiffany Patterson, President of the Board of Education, and all the board members who have graced us with their presence today, upon extensive review and examination of rigorous academic coursework completed, I affirm that the following candidates have met the prescribed criteria established by the Ohio Department of Education in concordance to the policies of the Board of Education, thereby confer upon these beautiful scholars, the class of 2023, their official high school diploma. At this time, Mrs. Reynolds.
Samir Colom. Valedictorian, National Honor Society member, Honors Diploma, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Elizabeth Crockett. Valedictorian, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Gianna Townsend. Valedictorian, YSU Associate of Arts, Ohio State Young Scholar. Sean Wissinger, Salutatorian, YSU Associate of Arts, Ohio State Young Scholars. Janae Brown, Class President, National Honor Society Vice President, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Sharon Alcorn, Class Vice President, National Honor Society member, YSU Associate Arts degree. David Pierce Plater, Class Secretary. Micah Mitchum, Nadia Anderson. National Honor Society President, Honors Diploma, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Henry Brew. National Honor Society, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Tierney Bussey. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Alina Gilbo. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Catherine Hayes. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Tiesha Howard. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Deasia Mercado. National Honor Society treasurer, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Tamara Myers. National Honor Society Secretary, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Aubrey Otinkaran. National Honor Society member, Honors Diploma, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Ronald Rosa. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Nadia Sen. National Honor Society member, Honors Diploma, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Ashley Stanford. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Delilah Williams. National Honor Society member, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Khalil Al-Rakasa. Kaden Bowser. Kalia Cameron, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Shantae Chapman. Adrian Davis. YSU Associate of Arts degree. Johannan Dawson. Moss Dixon. Orida Dixon. Zoe DeBose, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Luis Febres. Associate of Arts degree. Dexter Grant. Trinity Hendricks. Kamaya Hicks. Victor Jackson. YSU Associate of Arts degree. Zakia James. Delaney Jennings. Ohio State Young Scholar. Ernest Johnson. Ohio State Young Scholar. Delia Jones. YSU Associate Degree of Arts, Ohio State Young Scholar. Jordan Judge. YSU Associate of Arts degree. Janaya Kennedy. Ohio State Young Scholar. Michael Logan. Curtis Matlock. YSU Associate of Arts degree. Saron McRae. Ayana Beal, honors diploma, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Myla Venable, YSU Associate of Arts degree, Ohio State Young Scholar. Amani Watson, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Sanaya Whitfield, Destiny Williams, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Anaya Williams, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Serenity Williams, YSU Associate of Arts degree. Nevaeh Willis, Rayana Wilson, Bryce Wilson Russell, Yarelis Sayas Ocasio,
How about one more round of applause for the class of 2023? Yes! Mr. Johnson. Okay, so we have one more thing to do before we prepare our scholars to cross over. The last speaker that will quickly come, he is Dr. Jeffrey Buchanan, and he represents Youngstown State University. He will come at this time, and then Ms. Janae Brown, your class president, will lead you in the moving of the tassel.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be here today, Ms. Jones. I do really appreciate it. I thank you for the opportunity to say to the class of 2023 on behalf of Youngstown State University, congratulations. I also want to take just a few minutes of your time and hopefully, if I'm half as good as our keynote speaker was today, I can give you something to think about, but also an idea to think with. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to listen today and to learn. As the chair of a large academic department at Youngstown State University, I am ultimately responsible for all of the courses my department offers. This semester, one of our instructors was having a very difficult time with her health, and it turned out that she was canceling a lot more classes than she should have been. I didn't know this, no one was telling me this, but eventually I found out, probably too late, and eventually I took over the course to teach. Sometime very early in my meeting with this group of students, they would probably say I lectured them, but I think I tried to urge them to say that when something like this happens, when they know they're missing far too many classes, when quite frankly, to say it as plainly as I can, they're no longer getting their money's worth, they need to say something. I know they were enjoying the days when they could sleep in a little longer, or the times when the assignment was no longer due. But I think there was a moment in that class, and I want to say it's the same moment or a similar moment to the moment you graduates are at now. When you can no longer revel in all the canceled classes, when you can no longer take advantage of another day to sleep in, when you have to stand up and say, as one of my former students a long time ago used to say, there's something fishy going on. And perhaps that fish is now a couple days old and it's beginning to sink. The inclination to stand up for yourself, the responsibility to do so comes from what are now well-formed, I hope in you, well-formed beliefs and values. Or maybe, in the words our keynote speaker gave us today, our affirmations and our refusals. Those things you have received from your school environment, from your parents, your family environment, and from many, many other places, from people like your teachers, your parents, your relatives, your friends. My father went to college for one semester, not a successful one, but he did find work, he got married, he had children, and somehow he still believed that the best opportunity for those children was an education. He worked as a tree trimmer. He came home from his job with the City Parks and Recreation Department, and he went out to work on his own. He never complained about it. It seems to me he had a profound sense that education could matter. And so in my own classroom just last semester, when students asked if I was ever going to cancel a class, I said, what? No chance. This was the time in the semester when I got nightmares, when I woke up in the middle of the night questioning whether I've taught my students anything at all. There's so much more to do, I told them. I've got so much more to teach you. That's one of my core values, and it shapes my behavior every day. This is where you are now, at the place where your core values are shaping how you choose to lead your daily life. Choose carefully. We need you. Choose to make the world a better place. Congratulations.
Okay, at this time, Miss Janae Brown, come forward.
Okay. Okay. Hi, class of 2023. Hi, guys. Okay, so I kind of feel underprepared. I did not write no speech out, so I'm just going off the dome, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so class of 2023, feel free to do me a favor. expression of gratitude to one another for, even without it being said, we have encouraged one another to get to where we are now. So I think it is important that we say thank you to one another. Then I also want you to say thank you to yourselves for embodying the perseverance and resiliency that has been instilled within you. Yes. And I also want you to be thankful that you are even graduating today. As unfortunately, our society has been a bit of turmoil, so, unfortunately some people have lost their lives, so I want you to be grateful that you are even here today. And now, me as your senior class president, I just want to let all of you guys know that I now have high expectations for what I hope to see from you in the future. And if you have goals, my advice to you would be to never settle. Don't settle for what you may think your peak performance is. Always strive to go above that because you matter, all in all. And I also want you to be sure to have an expression of gratitude to everyone who is in your support systems. Me as your senior class president, I will always be an extended support system, not just for today, not just for this high school experience, but also years to come. So always be sure to find me. Alrighty, it is now that time. If you all could stand please. Alrighty, we entered in here with our tassels to the right. Alrighty, on the count of 3, we're moving them to the left, alright? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, y'all gonna do it anyway, huh? Okay. All right. Mr. Smith, can you please begin pomp and circumstance, please? Samir, you may lead your class out. Let's give them a round of applause. I love you too, Ernest.